credit card processing seamless. BOS is here for you, your employees, and your customers. Are you ready for a better banking experience? Then make the bold move and switch to BOS today. Visit bankwithbos.com. Member FDIC.
This is the Verizon Extra Innings Show. Verizon, the most reliable 5G in St. Louis.
Gavin Lux 0 for 3. He swings and hits it high in the air. Right center field. Calling for it, Victor Scott calls off Walker, makes the catch for a Redbird winner. A doubleheader sweep in Cincinnati. The Cardinals won 6-0 in the opener. They take the second game 9-1.
That's a good day of baseball. Cardinals sweep through the Cincinnati Reds. They double their road win total in one day. They win game one by a 6-0 score. They follow that up with a 9-1 win in the second game. And all the way around, that's a heck of a day for the Cardinals. And now they are in position. If they can win tomorrow, they would end up taking 3 of 4 from the Reds. But most importantly, they don't lose the series. They're able, you split a 4-game series, generally more often than not on the road. You feel pretty good about it. So good opportunity for the Cardinals coming up tomorrow. Welcome in. This is the Extra Innings Show right here on KMOX. As always, if you want to join us, multiple ways for you to get connected with the program. You can call or text 314-436-7900. That's 314-436-7900. Either number, whether you want to call or whether you want to text, it's the exact same number either way, 314-436-7900. You can find me on Twitter and you can tweet at me, at Matt Pauley on air, MattPauley on air. Or for those of you who are watching the stream on our various social media channels, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on Twitter. You can leave a comment. Bill just left a comment. We saw that one come in right away. Be like Bill, leave a comment, and we will get to those as we go along with the program this evening. That's we did a quick extra inning show after the first game, but I'm kind of I'm treating this show today kind of like a full day post-game show as we'll wrap up games 1 and game 2, or game 1 and game 2 with everything that went down. And there was a lot of really good things that happened from a game 1 perspective. Miles Michaelis was really good. And if you get, and I know you can't do this, but if you get rid of his Boston game where he just got kind of blown up, he's got a sub-3 ERA this year. Michaelis has probably pitched better than a lot of us, including myself, have given him credit for. He picks up his first win. You got good bullpen work in the first day from Kyle Leahy, JoJo Romero, and Matt Swanson. And that was a game that was 1-0 until the 9th inning, and that's when they explode with the back-to-back home runs, all in the 9th inning there. So they turned a 1-0 game into a 6-0 game. At the time, if you were listening, I said how big of a deal it could have potentially been because you didn't use Ryan Helsley and he might be available for you in the second game. Well, turns out you didn't need him in the second game because you scored 9 runs in the first 3 innings, and you never look back in the 9-1 victory against Cincinnati. Steven Matz was really good. He was on a pitch count coming back out of the bullpen. They wanted him around 70. He finishes with 73, but 4 scoreless innings for Matz. That was good to see. And then they brought up Gordon Graceffo as the extra man that you get for doubleheaders, and he covered the final 5 innings. So you have no stress on your bullpen out of the second game because Graceffo isn't really on the team. Like he'll be gone. He's not going to be on the team tomorrow. So between the doubleheader, all you used out of the bullpen was an inning and 2/3 of Kyle Leahy, 1 inning of JoJo Romero, and 1 inning of Matt Swanson. That's pretty good to play 18 innings of baseball and that be the toll that your bullpen has on it. I think you'll take that. And then from an offensive standpoint, Mason Wynn batting in the 2 spot for the first time in his career. He hits 2 home runs in the first game, follows that up with 2 more hits in the second game. That was really good to see. When I saw Wynn in the 2 spot, I kind of went, I don't know. I don't know if I love him there. Well, jury might still be out a little bit on that, but for at least today, he performed at a high level. There was some talk, I think, about not having him play in the second game when the day got started, give him a day off and not have him play both ends of a doubleheader with his back and everything. But then he had that big first game, and they put him in for the second game, and he's able to come up and continue to contribute in a really big way. Obviously, good to see the Cardinals hitting home runs in that first game, the 2 home runs from Wynn, in addition to the other home runs that they get from Victor Scott and Lars Nootbaar. And then in the second game, Wilson Contreras and Pedro Pajes, each hitting home runs as well. So all the way around, it was a really, really good day for the Cardinals. And so much, and look, 2 wins, a doubleheader sweep in Cincinnati. That doesn't fix all issues. I'm not trying to say that, but there's just been so much focus here recently on the inability to win games on the road. And Oliver Marmol and others have said to you, look, this is just kind of the quirkiness of baseball still early on in the season. It's going to be fine. Well, if they double their road record still is not good, but they double their road record, total road wins with the doubleheader sweep today. And I think there's going to be more road. I know there's going to be more road wins coming for this team. The Extra Innings Show is being presented by Graybar. Graybar is your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. Again, if you want to get connected to the program, the various ways for you to do so, you can call or text 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900. That's, again, calling or texting. You can tweet at me at Matt Pauley on air, MattPauley on air. Or if you are watching the show on our various social media channels, just leave a comment, as many people have already done, and we will get to those. Let's start with some of the text messages from the 618. Says, wow, what can I say? It's like the Cardinals said, you think we can't score runs? Eat this. Love it. Said, almost felt sorry for Petty. They ate him up and sent him home early. Said, the guys need a well-earned nap before tomorrow's game. Pitchers are great. I enjoyed the heck out of these past 2 games. Yeah, it was a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff happening. I think you do feel a little bit bad. A guy's out there making his major league debut, and it didn't happen for him today. And Chase Petty's going to be a good pitcher in Major League Baseball. There's no doubt about that. This guy's a top 100 level prospect across baseball. He is going to be a good pitcher in baseball. Everybody has bad days, and this was a bad day for him. So unfortunately, yeah, it's always that question that gets asked, like, what do you remember about your Major League debut? Unfortunately for Petty, when he's asked that question an estimated 27,000 times over the future, he's going to have to tell a story about a really, really tough day. But if he can follow that up by putting together a really good career, I think he can live with the bad first day. Text message from the 618 reads, one thing that people don't realize is that Ali knows his players inside and out better than we pretend to or think we do. When he states that he may not be worried about a certain player or makes decisions we may not understand, but he knows what he's talking about. He has the insight that we don't have. Like I said in a previous text, a person would have to be part of the bullpen with these guys to understand everything. Yeah, look, are there things that Ali does sometimes that I don't agree with? Sure. Are there times that he does things that I don't agree with, that if I knew all the information that he had with maybe who's available and who's not available, that maybe I would agree with him more? Yeah. And look, that's something I try to do. And it's the last thing you want me to be doing, hosting this show. So I hope in some ways it's just kind of inferred. The last thing you want me to be doing is like putting a disclaimer on every single opinion that I have. Right. So I of course leave the door open that when there's things going, I know there's stuff going on that I don't know and you don't know. And, if there's guys who aren't available in the bullpen, it's not like Ali's going to broadcast that out because that's a competitive disadvantage. So yeah, I generally agree with that text message for sure, that there's stuff going on that we don't always know. I think that's why it's important to listen to what he says afterwards, because if somebody wasn't available, he'll generally say that in the post game. It's just not something we know when the game is going on. From the 573 says, great to get back-to-back wins against the Reds. The pitching shut down the Reds and the hitting was awesome. Yeah, just complete days all the way around for sure. Henry sends a message on the video stream. Amazing day of baseball. We didn't have to use our closer, just just amped. The people who have watched every game this season are really amped and excited about this team's chances. The Cardinal way will never die. Did say another 5 games since Helsley pitches. Yeah, well, Helsley is the only guy in the bullpen that's like, you know what? I'd be okay if he pitched just a little bit more. Just a little bit more, because you never really know when he keeps getting these long layoffs. You don't completely know how sharp he's going to be when he comes back. Generally, it's at about that 5-day point where if he hasn't pitched, they get him in there no matter what. But the save situations have not come often enough for this team this year. But I guess if that's the thing I'm going to complain about, I'm looking real hard for something to complain about for sure. Again, if you want to get in here, you can do so by calling or texting 314-436-7900. 314-436-7900. That's how you call or text. Tweet at me at Matt Pauley on air, or you can go ahead and just leave a message on the video stream if that's where you are watching us tonight. We'll take a break and have more in just a moment. This is the Extra Innings Show on KMOX.
There's a big red barn where you say green, orange, barn, and bone.
Gray Bar does that.
Now, back to the Verizon Extra Innings Show.
Cardinals sweep through a doubleheader today as they win game 1 of the Twin Bill by a 6-0 score, and then they follow that up with a 9-1 win. Some of the notes coming out of the day, and some of these I think are pretty interesting. In the first game, Victor Scott II got a stolen base. It was his 10th of the year. He has not been caught. So when it comes to Cardinals who have 10 stolen bases before the end of May, you're looking at before the end of April, I should say. I need to look at a calendar sometimes. He is the first Cardinal with 10 stolen bases in the first 30 games of the season since Ray Langford had 16 in 1992. The record for the Cardinals in the first 30 games, Lou Brock had 22 in 1974, Vince Coleman 21 in 85 and 87. We mentioned those home runs that the Cardinals hit in the first game. First time in over 100 years that they had hit back-to-back home runs in the 9th inning. Just 10th time in franchise history that they have hit back-to-back home runs. Officially first time in the 9th inning. History doesn't go back beyond the late 1800s. So, but it's it probably has never happened. Mason Wynn is the first Cardinal since 1900 to hit 2 or more home runs in their first major league game, batting in the number 2 spot in the lineup. So he'd never been in that spot before, and he hits the 2 home runs in the first game. Today was the first time in the expansion era, so that's since 1961, that the Cardinals hit 3 consecutive home runs by the 9-1-2 hitters in the order. So that was obviously a big moment in this game. And then the Cardinals also get in the second game, they get a 3-run home run from Wilson Contreras. It was their 8th 3-run home run this year. That's second in Major League Baseball. It's only the Red Sox who have 12. Last year, the Cardinals had 10 3-run home runs, and they already have 8 this year, and it's not even May. So a lot of really good numbers coming out of this one today. Again, if you want to join the program, you can call or text 314-436-7900. 314-436-7900, or you can leave a message on the video stream if you happen to be watching us. Text message from the 870 says, beating teams in our division is likely the best that the Cardinals can do, and it will help make the reset a little more enjoyable. If they can't be World Series champs this year, please make it entertaining to watch. Today was entertaining. Yeah, I think they're an entertaining team. I do. I don't know how many wins they're going to end up with. I don't know if they're going to be a winning team. I don't know if they'll be above 500, below 500. I don't know if they're going to be in contention for a playoff spot. I don't know if they're going to steal a playoff spot. I don't know if they're going to be in contention to possibly win the division. Like all these things that I just mentioned, I think all of them are on the table depending on what ends up happening. But I am pretty sure that this is going to be a fun team to watch. Or there are going to be some bad days. Like not yesterday, the last game they played. So that would have been on Monday. That was not an overly entertaining game to watch. But in a 162 game season, even the best teams have some clunkers sometimes. For the most part, the Cardinals have been a very entertaining team. And you think about some of the individuals who have led to that. I mean, Victor Scott II is an energetic, exciting young player who does a lot of things that make the game fun. Mason Wynn, we had this conversation about him all last year. He does stuff over at the shortstop position that just very few people can even do. So he is fun. Lars Nootbaar is somebody who he's the dictionary definition of finding a way to have fun on the field. And we could go up and down. I mean, just watching Brendan Donovan go about his work every single day, the way he plays the game of baseball, there's probably nobody more so on this team that if you are a coach of young baseball players and you want to show somebody to have players emulate, Donovan's that guy. He does everything the right way. So there's a lot of really good pieces on this team. I do think it's going to be a bit of a roller coaster. This is something that Ollie has talked about a fair amount this year, that when you have the youngest lineup in all of baseball, there's going to be good moments and there's going to be not so good moments. So from an offensive standpoint, I think this is going to be something that goes up and down a little bit. But I think there's going to be more good than bad. So yeah, I think this team is entertaining. I'm glad they did what they did today, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow's a great opportunity for them to try to take 3 out of 4 against Cincinnati. Peter sends a message and says the Cardinals really need to play better and play well this season. We don't want this Cardinal season to be deja vu all over again. We really want a winning season. Yeah, look, they had a winning season last year. By definition, they were above 500 last year, and it was not a successful year in the sense of they had the goal of being a playoff team and they missed the playoffs. So it was definitely a failure. But it also, I think, set the tone for what this organization is going to be moving forward. And if they can go out this year with everything else going on, where they really didn't spend much to add to the Major League roster, where so many of the resources are going to what's going on in player development and getting ready for Chaim Bloom to take over. If this team, while all that stuff is kind of going on in the background, if this team can find a way to be competitive and to win and do all those sort of things, I think it's a bonus. And I promise you, there are a lot of people inside that organization, no matter what anybody else thinks, that really feels like this team can be a winning team this year and can be a team that can maybe sneak their way into the playoffs. Nobody in this division is that impressive. The Cubs are obviously the best team in the division, both on paper and what their current record is. But they're not setting the world on fire right now. They lost to the Pirates today. They're 18-13. They've got a 2-game lead on the Reds right now. Right now, the top 4 teams, and again, standings don't mean anything on April 30th, so I don't even want to be mentioning them, but I am. The top 4 teams are separated by 4 games. So it's tight right now. I would suspect that it is going to continue to be tight as the season continues to move along. What's on Deck is presented by Chesterfield Fence and Deck. The sign you have the very best, chesterfieldfence.com. These two teams are going to wrap up the series coming up tomorrow morning into afternoon. Matthew Liberatore is going to make the start for the Cardinals. So far, so good for Libby. He's 2-2 with a 3.19 ERA. It's going to be a battle of left-handers. Andrew Abbott will go for Cincinnati, 2-0 with a 3.60 ERA. With the Reds making the decision to give the spot start today to Petty, What that did was it pushed Hunter Green back a day, so the Cardinals will not face Green this series. So that's a bit of a benefit as well for sure. The Extra Innings Show has been presented by Graybar. Graybar is your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. We will be back with you tomorrow again. 10:45 is when our pregame coverage will begin tomorrow right here on KMOX.
Celebrating their 57th year in business, Chesterfield Fence and Deck has been one of